Hello, everybody. My name is Kimberly King, and I am an author of a book called I Said No, a kid-to-kid guide to keeping private parts private. I am also a teacher, a sexual abuse prevention educator with the Darkness to Light program and with the Rowan Center. I help parents learn how to communicate more confidently on this topic so that they can talk with their kids about the tough stuff and hopefully get ahead of these problems before they start. So today I'm going to read for you my book, I Said No. Here it is. And I'm just going to read it as if I was reading to a group of children. And then I might stop and talk and give you some notes about how you can better read this with your kids. So it's called I Said No, a kid-to-kid guide to keeping private parts private. I would recommend that every parent, before you read the book, definitely read the how to best use page on the book because it gives you some great notes and tips about where to start, where to stop, and what to talk about. So here we go. My name is Zack, and this is my mom. I had a not so good time at a sleepover party last year. Mom always said, keep your privates private. And there's a little green flag here that says, what are privates? Private parts for boys and girls are the parts of your body that are under your underwear or your bathing suit. But your whole body can be private if you want it to be. You are the boss of your body. You can say no to any unwanted touch. Those are the body boundary safety rules. Your body is a wonderful thing. It's important to keep it healthy, safe, and clean. There are doctor names for body parts and silly names that might make you giggle. We are sure you've heard a few of them. You might want to take a minute now to talk about some of those silly names with your parents. Knowing these words can help you let your parents or adults know if something is wrong. So knowing the correct words for your private parts is really important. There's a little note here on the bottom that says there is a glossary of doctor words at the back of this book so that you know the right words to use. It's natural to be curious about bodies and how they work. Maybe you're a little curious about the differences between boys and girls. You might want to talk about that now too. It's okay to be curious. I would stop there and talk about the two talking points and then put the book down because that's a great introduction. It's lighthearted, it encourages conversation, and then come back to it another day. So here's another chapter for another day. Some special rules. There are some special rules to learn about your private parts that are super duper important. When you are a baby, the grown-ups that take care of you have to change your diapers. They also have to wipe you and your private parts to keep them clean and healthy. They give you baths until you're old enough to do that for yourself. And of course, that is fine. When you're a little kid, like 2 or 3, you're learning to go potty. When you're learning to do that, sometimes mom or dad might have to help you wipe yourself to keep your private parts clean. And of course, that is okay too. They are helping you and they are teaching you how to take care of yourself. Your mom might ask, honey, do you need a little help with the potty? You might say, no, thanks, Mom. I got it. I can do it all by myself. My mom did a happy dance when I didn't need help with the potty anymore. Then we have a note about the doctor's office over here. At the doctor's office, sometimes you might go for a checkup with the doctor. Your doctor is there to make sure that all of your body is healthy. If your mom or dad is in the room with the doctor and your parents can say it's okay. You all have to give consent. Then it is okay for the doctor to examine you. What is consent so that a kid can understand? Consent means that you say that something is okay. It is when you say yes. Kids can consent to lots of things like, yes, you can tickle me, or yes, I would love a hug. But kids cannot consent to things that have to do with private parts. That is why mom or dad have to be in the room with you when you see a doctor. If a doctor asks to check your private parts at the checkup, you and your parents need to say that it is okay. Take a minute to talk to your mom and dad about consent. So this is a good place to stop and talk about it. Ask some questions to your child about how they feel about hugs, who they like to hug, who they don't like to hug, and how it's okay to say no thank you or no to an adult. Come back another day. This is basically a whole new chapter about green and red flags. To help me listen to my feelings and know what to do, I think about flags. I imagine a little ship sailing on the ocean with a little sailor. The ship that sails with a green flag means all is safe, gentle seas ahead. The sailor raising a green flag over his ship. The sailor is raising a green flag over his ship. So that means everything is okay. A green flag means you feel safe and comfortable. You are happy, smooth sailing ahead. Green means go, green means yes. A green flag should go up in your head when you find yourself feeling safe, calm, happy, joyful, content, excited, peaceful, good, energetic, and hopeful. Can you think of any other green flag feelings? So here is a great point to stop and just make a big list about all the feelings that make them happy, that feel good in their body. But a red flag is raised on a ship when there are rough and dangerous seas ahead. Red means bad, red means stop, red means danger. Red means no. It's kind of the same thing as a traffic light if you think about it, and you can use that traffic light as you're driving around. It's another visual aid to help your kids remember. Red flag should go up in your head if you are with somebody and you find yourself feeling upset, uncomfortable, lonely, sad, angry, scared, yucky, icky, sick, worried, confused, nervous, or in danger. Can you think of any other red flag feelings? Now would be a good time to stop and talk about that with your parents. If you get that feeling inside that something isn't right, even if somebody tells you that it is, put up a red flag. Think red flag. This feels wrong. Say, no, I'm not comfortable. And do leave and tell a trusted adult. Those uneasy feelings are called instincts. Follow your instincts. Then I would stop, come back another day because that was a good bit of information that you're going to need to talk about. Next chapter is treats and bribes. Sometimes a teacher might offer you a lollipop for doing a great job listening. Or a neighbor might give you a cookie that is being friendly, and that's okay. These are just rewards, and they are fine. But a bribe is different. A bribe is when somebody offers you money or prizes or something to do something that you normally wouldn't do and that you don't want to do. If somebody tries to bribe you into doing something like that involves privates, put up a red flag and say no. Even if it is something great, don't take it. Just walk away and tell your parents. You might want to talk about the difference between rewards and treats and red flag bribes. So, good place to talk because there's a lot of stuff to talk about here. Come back another day and start with the what if. What if chapter. Let's talk about some different kind of things that could happen. What if you're playing outside with your uncle and he's tickling you too much? Let's say you decide you want him to stop because you feel uncomfortable. What should you think? What should you say? What should you do? Think red flag. This doesn't feel right. I'm going to ask him to stop. Say, I don't like that. Stop. Do. If he stops and he listens to you, then you have a green flag to keep on doing something else. Go play, but just do something else. But if he won't stop and he doesn't listen to you, then you have to raise a red flag and walk away and go tell your mom or your dad or a safe adult. What if you're in the bathroom at school and someone's trying to play show and tell with private parts? What should you think? What should you say? What should you do? Think red flag. I don't play games with my private parts. Do say no, no way, and be loud and clear. And do get out of there and tell your teacher as soon as you can. Also, be sure to tell your parents. What if? What if you're on the bus and someone dares you to pull down your underwear and says he'll give you $50? That's a bribe. What should you think? What should you say? What should you do? Think red flag. Underwear is supposed to stay on. Say no. No, I know my body rules. Sorry. And be loud and be clear. Do keep your underwear on and tell your bus driver or your mom or dad as soon as you can. If you're visiting your cousin and you're goofing around online and he shows you a video that has naked people in it, what should you think, say, or do? Think red flag. Bodies are private. Say, no way. That's not for kids. I'm not watching it. And do get up and walk away. And when you can, tell your mom and dad what happened. If anybody asks you to look at or touch their privates or touches yours, what should you think, say, or do? Think red flag. Say no, no way. Be loud and be clear, and do get out of there as fast as you can. Tell a trusted adult that something that has happened that was bad, something made you raise a red flag. So stop there because that's a lot of information. Talk about it. Come back to the next chapter another day. Next chapter is called Tricks and Threats. If a person wants to touch your privates or they want you to touch theirs, first they might try to bribe you, but they also might lie to you or try to scare you. They might say, if you tell, nobody will ever believe you. You're just a kid. They might say, if you tell, I will never be your friend again. Some threats can be really scary for a kid. People who threaten kids or try to trick kids are using their words to scare you into keeping quiet or keeping secrets. If you keep their secret, they can stay out of trouble. But if you keep their secret, they can also do the same thing to you or to somebody else. And that's not right. Nobody has the right to hurt you. Remember, no matter what, when you feel safe and with a trusted adult, be brave and tell. Even if you feel funny about what happened, even if what happened felt good, even if you're embarrassed by what happened, remember, it was not your fault. No way. You are just a kid. page. I would stop there. Talk about how all of this is never a kid's fault. Talk about how it's never too late to tell. Even if something happened ages ago, it's okay to tell. Answer the talking points and then come back to the My Red Flag chapter. When I went to my first sleepover party with my best friend, and he said, "Do you know that all the cool kids play games with their privates?" That was a big lie. He said, "If you don't touch mine, I'll never be your friend again." That was a threat. I thought, red flag. Private parts are not for sharing with friends. I said, "No way." I said, no way. I was loud and clear, and I told his mom that her kid broke the body boundary private part rules, and I got the heck out of there. It was really confusing because he was my best friend. But when it comes to private parts, it's always okay to tell, even if it is your best friend. It's always okay to tell, even if you said yes. This type of thing is never, ever your fault. What matters the most is that you tell. But what if you tell and that mom doesn't help you? What should you do? Think of a new plan to help you. My friend's mommy sent me back to the room with my red flag friend. She didn't listen to me, so I decided to pretend to get a terrible stomach ache. I called my mom on the phone. I know her number by heart. I said, "Mom, red flag." Red flag is our safety code word. She said, "I'll be right there." Mom came super quick to pick me up and took me home from my sleepover. I was proud of our plan and thought I did great. What is your safety code word? A safety code word is a word that you and your parents agree to use when you have a red flag problem. When you say the safety code word and your parents have to come, and they will come soon and help you. No questions asked. You can call and say it, or you can text it if you have a cell phone. And then later, when you are safe with your parents or your caregivers, you should talk about what happened. Red flag code word. So perfect time to talk and develop a family safety plan and pick a code word that you can use with your kids. Take a break. The next chapter, come back the next day. Trusted adults. But let's just say for some reason you can't tell your parents or your caregivers. Who can you tell? Who can you tell that is a trusted adult? Maybe an aunt, an uncle, grandma, neighbors, the police, firemen, firewomen, teachers, your school nurse, a lifeguard, or an emergency operator at 911. Tell someone you trust. How about you make a list of all the grown-ups you trust right now? There's a list for you and your child to fill out. Who are the trusted adults? Make sure to tell someone you trust, even if you think it isn't a big deal, even if it didn't exactly feel bad, even if you are scared, even if you think that they may not believe you, even if you feel embarrassed, always tell, even if it happened more than once. It's never too late to tell. Tell a trusted adult. Why don't you take a minute and think about who you have in your family that you really trust? So here you can have a great conversation about who is it in the family that is a really trustworthy, safe person. Stop after you make that list. Come back and visit the next day or later. This is a little chapter on secrets, red flag secrets. Red flag secrets. There should be no secrets between you and the people that you trust. If anybody tells you, this is our little secret, so don't tell your parents, that is a red flag. Tell, tell, tell. Nobody should ask you to keep any secrets from your parents. No little secrets like don't tell your mom I bought you ice cream, and especially no secrets about private parts. If you have been keeping a red flag secret, find a good time to tell a trusted grown-up. It is not your fault. You are loved and nobody has the right to hurt you. Nobody. The people who really love you want to protect you and keep you safe. Maybe you want to talk for a minute about any secrets you have now. Then the next chapter is Me Too. So take a break, have a discussion. Maybe your child might reveal something about themselves or a friend they know, or a secret about something else. Make sure you have time to talk about it. Me Too. I want to help kids to know what to do if a red flag thing starts happening to them, because it happened to me too. That is why my mom and I wrote this book. I went to my first sleepover party and I had a red flag. My mom said, red flag things happen a lot to a lot of kids. I know it can happen to anybody. So if it does happen to you, remember it's not your fault. Me too. I felt way better after I told my mom about my red flag. I feel even better now that I am telling you in my book. We hope that if you read this book, it will help you to know what you can do to keep yourself safe. And if you are reading this book after a red flag thing has happened, you might feel even better knowing that you are not alone. You are not the only one out there that this has happened to. If you know there are lots of other kids that this has happened to, you might find the courage to tell. I really hope so. And then at the very end of the book, this is a hard red flag to read. It's called One More Thing. One more what if. What if you have a parent or a caregiver who has touched your privates or made you touch theirs? What if the red flag is up for them? This is the hardest what if to understand. If this happens, it can be very scary and confusing to know what to do. You will have to be extra brave and tell somebody you trust. Tell a trusted adult. And remember, keep telling until somebody really listens. It is very important. Start at the top of your trusted adult list. And if you can't get someone to listen to you, and if they don't pay attention to what you say, and if they don't believe you or take steps to keep you safe, then as soon as you can, as soon as you're safe, pick up the phone and dial 911 for emergency help. If you can't get help from a trusted adult, you can call 911 if you're in the USA. At the very end, we have a page for you to illustrate your green flag people or your red flag people in your life. And then here's another page for each child to do their own what if scenario and come up with their own solutions to a what if problem. And then at the end, we thank you for helping us finish this special story. At the very back, we have all of the terms that the kids need to know. And there are some simple, very basic illustrations on the website, www.isaidno.info, where you can go and just look through them carefully and review the words. And so that is the story. Make sure you read the afterword. There's some more tips on sexual abuse prevention and how to connect to me for additional resources and help. I hope that me reading this book to you today has helped you realize that it is just a pretty simple book. It's about a tough topic, but because of the kid language and the pacing, it can make prevention less stressful. And I hope that it encourages you and your children to talk. The talking points are so important in this book, and generating kid ideas and kid solutions for these types of problems with help of parents is such an amazing way to educate and empower your children. An educated and empowered child is less of an attractive target to an abuser. So arm your family with knowledge, read all of the books, take the classes that you can take. I have a free class on my website. So visit me at kimberlykingbooks.com and get engaged with this topic, because parents, you are the most powerful tool in prevention. So I hope that this has given you a little bit of encouragement, and I look forward to connecting with you all. Take care. Have a great day.